So you'll need a sticky note for each one. And I would like you to write 2 good things about each presentation, 2 praises, and 1 improvement. So, on the back of each one, for each team, you are doing 2 praises and 1 critique. And you can be looking on that wall. No, you do not.
They can read on the generator. We've all been together long enough that we know what
Right.
so then you can do it all know.
And then we select it when we're done. And we'll repass it.
Okay, so team 6 is going to start, and then they will finish on Monday, and then team 3 is also going to go on Monday.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
The only thing
Okay, so for our innovation that we came
This
up
group
with,
is starting.
sorry. But for our innovation that we came up with, we also did a watch as well. So like not a Fitbit, but like kind of like a watch ordeal. But then as far as this, it kind of has like apps on it. So like 4 apps in total. So this green one here is the location app. So it will track the basic information that it provides is like, so normally when you go into an ER, there's like wandering patients or whatnot, or like they just happen to get up and walk places, and nurses or medical physicians in general have a hard time locating them. So our app has a GPS tracker that will track down the patients. So when the patients come in, they basically, because when you get admitted to a hospital, you kind of like, they give you this band to help like identify you and whatnot. So instead of that white band that you get with all of your information, it'll be our device, which is called the Cherry Hill Life Band. Yeah, so that's what
The name of
called.
our hospital
It's
is
Cherry Hill. Yeah, so that's that. But then, so it'll track the patients if they're wandering or whatnot, and then it will also track doctors and any other medical physicians, because I don't know if you guys have watched Grey's Anatomy or something, but like they'll walk in there and they're like, "Where's Dr. Gray?" And like nobody can find her, so like they don't know where she is. So that will kind of like track her down as well. So basically, all of our staff members will also have medical bands too, just in case we need to locate them for some reason. And then, so this one here is the Patient's Vital app. So when it, because our device is kind of like censored, so it will get all of their information as far as like blood pressure, or that will be in there. Yeah, so like blood pressure and then respiratory rates and whatnot, and heart rates and all that. So that's that one. And then so like if it's spiking or anything, it will like, because all of that is sent to nurses and other doctors as well that are in charge of the patient. So in order to like kind of like access that, you kind of like need a code. So for everything in here, you kind of like need a code as far as like the medical records and the Vitals app, just because that's kind of like security for the patient. Like it ensures their security and like that they're safe in a hospital and whatnot. And so that's the Vitals app. And then for this one, it's the band. Oh well, this is just pointing to the banding. So the banding in general. Well, yeah, you guys don't have our little model of our board because that's separate. But then our board is kind of like color coded. So the bandings, each staff member will have a different color banding for their watch, and the banding correlates to which department they work in. So like, for example, our psych unit is blue, so like the staff members that work there as well as the patients will have a blue band, so that like if they are wandering, then you can just be like, yo, you're not supposed to be here, and they're not there, you know? And so like, yeah, so they'll go there. And then nurses, however, like some of them will actually have like white bands, just because like we have like nurses everywhere, like located, and they can like float nurses basically. So like they could just roam about and help everyone if they need it. And then this one here is our translation app. So when you come in, like in general, like everywhere you go, there's kind of like language barriers everywhere. And so like with our app, it basically, so there's like 6,500 like known spoken languages around the world. And so our app will be already programmed to those languages. And so like if you talk, then it will like automatically detect it. And then like you can be able to, so it's kind of like an Apple Watch, like if you were to talk to somebody, then the conversation could be heard for like from to and from. And then, so it will like translate it, and then like say our patients are deaf, then the doctors can talk and they can also look at it and they can read the speech as well. So like instead of having to go around and find somebody that can sign or find somebody that can speak like Arabic, you know, like all those unknown languages, then you'll already have it. So that's sufficient because it will save time of having to find a doctor to do all of that. And then this here is our medical record. And so basically that will just be, have all of the patient information from like their prior time, so like just all of their information in general, not even just at our hospital, but any other hospital that they've been treated at. And then it will also have the record of when they were admitted to our hospital all the way up until the time that they were discharged from our hospital, just in case like we need to know like who interacted with the patient or whatnot. And so it's not just a medical record of like what procedures they've been worked on, but a record of also like who's came in as far as like visitors, you know, like which family members came in to see them, you know, and which doctors came in to see them, like just in case the patient were to pass of something, then you would know like which doctors were there with them. So that also ensures security as well, because if the family has questions, then it's a whole log of how everything happened. And then this arrow here is just pointing to the power button, so basically just powers it on and off. Hard click to the button will simply just power it off completely or like restart it if you ever have to do that. And then like a simple click will just power it on and off, like I said. And then this one here is just pointing to the volume panel, which will basically works for translation. So like if you need to raise the volume, lower the volume, people are hard of hearing or whatnot. So that's that. And then our band itself is just, it has evenly spaced holes that are that will be assisted with the buckle, so that it can help like easily put it together for you, and it could be used for it accommodates anybody with like different size wrists, so you don't have to worry about that. I think it's pretty good. But that's pretty much it as far as our innovation that we came up with.
So just for some current innovations that are in use at the hospital, you have a newly introduced medical drones. It basically just transports any types of patient, I guess like identification, paperwork, to lab information, to medication itself. There's like outsourced drones, so they can go reach to the hospital or to patients' homes faster than like an emergency vehicle, to just kind of guide, I guess like first response information. And there's also medical drones like within the hospital or within the department to help just further push and just enhance, I guess, transport of that information. The next one is the iStat. It's just a handheld blood analyzer. Provides staff with information from labs a lot faster than actually taking a sample down to a lab to let it process to then you have to go pick it up and bring it back. So that was just kind of handheld. Within minutes you can get results just simply taking a prick of a finger, blood sample. And then they also have CPR vests, which are automated, portable, battery-powered CPR like vests that they literally wrap around the patient while they're on a stretcher or on the bed. And it automates the CPR so that physician or I guess nurse doesn't have to do it. So that's just kind of stuff that's used now. I don't know what else we can do. You do this for me.
Yeah. As far as our schedule goes, I gave you guys a handout of the schedule. So it'll be easier to explain. I can re-explain it tomorrow once you see the different areas. But basically, we have a bunch of different staff, and they work in different areas, and it's evenly spaced throughout. So we have about, for example, 62 nurses that are within certain areas, and then we have a couple of float nurses that walk around. We also have a couple of physicians that also walk around, and we have different things like forensic nurses, sexual assault nurses for cases like that. We have caseworkers as well. And then we also have respiratory therapists and the environmental staff, which helps sanitize the rooms and all of that. And then we have like the physician assistants and the directors and the managers and things like that, just to keep the hospital under control.
And then just for staffing, we do provide at least 2 of the qualified like physicians or doctors per unit at all times, just to ensure efficiency, and that does decrease wait times for each patient. So if there's 2 of us that need to see cardiologists, there's 1 available for both situations. And then we also have 13 nurses in each unit, which is very overstaffed, but just in case of anything, there's plenty to float. They're well qualified and there's a large quantity, so everyone, I guess the nurse to patient ratio then decreases, so it's no longer a 6-to-1 nurse ratio, but more of like a 3-to-1 nurse ratio. So then patients get a better care with relationship with their nurse, as well as nurse doesn't have as big of a like toll on them to try and take care of so many patients at the same time.
And along with that, with the overstaffing, you guys will see tomorrow in our physical model, we have a space like a lounge area for all of our staff in case we are too overstaffed and they're not doing much. So we'll show you that tomorrow.
So then equipment rise, in each, we just have labeled each specific area that's on our model that has kind of a major, I guess, equipment thing that needs to be present in each of them. So like in trauma, we have your CPAP, which are your like ventilator machines to keep them alive while you're in surgery, or they have breathing tubes. For peds, we have everything that's supplied in our ORs and our just general area, just their youth size, and it is big enough so that adults can be sent there just in case. For cardio in our stroke unit, just EKG machines, CTs are very important in that area, but that's also found in our radiology and labs section just for more use throughout the ER. Fast track, that's our quick in, quick out. We give them medications, IV drips, stuff like that. So we're making sure that those are available. Vital monitors are within our bay, which is kind of our general area. So just stabilizing patients, and that's more for like watching them, stabilizing them so that they can in the future be discharged or sent to a different area.
And then for psych, we also have portable like our X-ray machines and stuff like that in case anything happens in there. And the only thing that's in there is the bed, of course, you just have to.
You guys can stop there for today. You don't have to keep going.